Hey, everybody, it's Dacia Moore, Executive Director of Gateway of Hope, and welcome to our highlight, our spotlight on an African-American therapist that we have working here at Gateway of Hope. We're so pleased to have her. I want you to meet her, and her name is Tina Richardson. Hey, Tina.
Hi.
Well, we're highlighting you for Black History Month here at Gateway of Hope. You're one of two African-American therapists that we have. And so you've been with Gateway of Hope since 2019. Why have you stayed so long and what
Yes.
keeps you here?
Thank you, Dacia. First, it is an honor and a privilege just to be having this moment with Black History Moment. What has kept me at Gateway is I work in urban school district during the day as a school counselor and get the privilege to serve our community in Johnson County. And just so that women and teenagers, young adults, see someone that represents them. Representation is so important to me.
It absolutely is. And we're so pleased at Gateway of Hope. We have all kinds of women coming through the door and we want them to feel welcome and understood. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I mentioned it earlier, but I am been married for 23 years. I'm a mother of young adults. I have a son and a daughter who has been who are both attending colleges. But I've also been a counselor, a school counselor. This is going on my 5th year, 20th year in education, and been at Gateway for the last since 2019, right before the pandemic. So I've had a lot of experience with virtual and quarantining through counseling through virtually.
Wonderful. So you live in Olathe.
I do.
Oh,
My kiddos both are graduates from the Olathe School District, and I've been in Johnson County for the last 24 years. So yes.
wonderful. But then you work in the urban core in Kansas City, Missouri.
Yes, ma'am. I've been a school counselor for the last 4.5, going on 5th year, but I'm at Hogan Prep Academy on the Missouri side, and I've also licensed in Kansas, so I've been a school counselor in Kansas City, Kansas as well.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. Well, tell us a little bit about the need that you see for African Americans to have therapy, mental health services, therapy services, as well as life coaching. That some of the services that we provide here at Gateway of Hope. What kind of needs do you see?
Yes, absolutely. I see a lot of our young adults, female young adults, African American, all the way women into their 40s and 50s who need mental health counseling. This is their first time actually sitting down with someone with extended grief or trauma or even anxiety and depression. I'm seeing clients who've never been able to talk about the trauma or what's going on with them. So it is definitely a need. I've seen women from different counties, not just Johnson County, but because, as you know, stigma for mental health, period, there's a high stigma, but especially in the African American community. So I see women who travel outside of their community, professional nurses, women who are working in businesses who it just would not for them that stigma. They don't want anybody to know that they're receiving mental health services.
Right, right. And it is a blessing to be able to see somebody who looks like you. Now, I know you don't just counsel Black women, you counsel other women as well, right?
Yes, ma'am. I counsel any woman that's in need. I have a wide variety of women on my caseload, all the way from teenagers. I have a lot of teenagers right now who are going back to school and finding out that there's some anxiety and depression that was probably already there, but because they're back in person,
Mhm.
that has really heightened. And I've got a few Latinx clients on my caseload. So yes, I see a wide variety of Caucasian, Latinx, African American. I even have my first Asian client this year. So that's been really interesting and a treat.
Yeah, I bet you're learning some stuff. learning
Yes,
about a different culture, and we want to be,
absolutely.
yeah, we want to be multicultural. We want to be aware at least of other cultures. And that's what we're doing at Gateway of Hope. We are growing, and we want to serve women, period. And
That's
so
right.
whether you see a woman that looks like you or somebody who doesn't look like you, we want to be receptive to that. What similarities do you see amongst women from other cultures? And then what differences do you see from between African Americans and the other women that you serve?
I think really the similarities that I'm seeing and I get to be witness to is that women go through the same struggles, whether you are African American or Latinx or Caucasian. All women have the same fears, some anxiety, depression, um, loss of a child, depression, trauma. So trauma
Mhm.
doesn't have a ethnicity.
Right, right, right. So those are the similarities. What differences do you see?
Yeah, some differences that I see are cultural differences. Lots of my African American clients, because of their time restraints, they and again I talked about it just a minute ago. They and that extra barrier of stigma that
Mhm.
they carry, they're going from a different county. And so where I would see this may be their first time in counseling, versus my counterparts, my Caucasian clients. They actually, as you know, counseling is a journey, not a destination. So this they're picking back up on their journey, but more importantly, they're in counseling. So I think the difference would be that this is some of the first time, as you would say, first generation in
Mhm.
counseling. So this is one of the, and also cultural wise, some of my African American clients, I've just learned that when they say one time, just to be kind of lenient on time constraints, and also Latinx. Um, time is not as stringent. I always have, and that's something I learned also as a school counselor. As if you have an appointment, I might have a 4:30 appointment, and that they may need some leeway as
Mhm.
first time constraints. So.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, tell us a story that, or do you have a story of, a success or even a challenging client that you worked with here at Gateway of Hope?
I would say I'm seeing some success with one of my clients who's African American, and she was really just coming to me for, as you would say, at first life coaching, and then we kind of dug beneath the surface, and there has been some grief. And
Mm.
what I think the success story would be, she did come from another county, removing some of those barriers and stigma that she held for herself, and just understanding that counseling is a journey, not a destination. So I say the success in that is we ended after a couple of months, but she is going to really talk to her entire family about getting counseling. So for me, it's a success because it's becoming a legacy that
Mhm.
counseling is not a stigma, and that it is something that you really need and can use as self-care for yourself. So that to me was my success with her, is that she's talking to her family about counseling and passing it down to another generation.
That's wonderful. Yeah, yeah, that is wonderful. Well, we're glad that you are here with us. We're glad that you are representing our culture as well as women and serving women here at Gateway of Hope. Are there any final words that you want to share with us?
I just have to say, Daisy, it is an honor and a privilege to work at Gateway of Hope. I call it my sweet spot during my week because although I'm sitting with clients and their emotions and their trauma, I get to represent um, women, not only women, young women, African American women, and women that look like me. And so I get to be in a place that's just so accepting, and I love working at Gateway. So thank you for having me and featuring me in your Black History moment.
All right. Well, Black history is 365. What is that? What is it? 7/3/7/24,
Yes,
365.
yes. 365, 7 days a week.
7 days a week. But we're glad
Yes,
to highlight this, take this opportunity, and certainly we will continue to do that throughout the year with our other therapists. So stay tuned for other highlights. But thank you again, Tina, and God bless you.
absolutely. God bless you as well.
All right, bye-bye.